before Virtuoso PA came to be. So I've worked as the PA to a marketing director at Ragdale Hall Health Hydro in Leicestershire. I also worked as an office manager for a CCTV company here in Exeter. I was a business account manager for EDF Energy. I looked after accounts like Wilkinson's, Next, London Underground, etc., etc. It was I really enjoyed the job. It was really interesting, quite complicated but interesting. And then I actually moved down to Plymouth, and I worked for the imports and shipping department at CDS The Range. So, and that was another quite technical job. And so I do enjoy kind of like, you know, like doing lots of different things, and really that involve kind of like, you know, being quite technical. So yeah, so those were my main jobs, apart from, as I said before, working on Woolworths record counter and helping my dad with the admin. And then in April 2013, I moved back to Exeter. But my mum was ill, and so I needed to really be home. CDS weren't the best employer as well, because you didn't actually kind of like, you know, they didn't give you a great deal of time off. If you asked for time off for compassionate reasons, you were basically told that you wouldn't have a job to return to. And so I quit that job, moved back to Exeter, and started looking for work. And at that time I was around 50, I think. And like I said, this advert, even though it's an old job advert, really does still apply today. When you're 50 years old and you're quite experienced in what you do, what the type of jobs you're looking for, you basically kind of like, you go for an interview and they ask you, like, you know, I think you're a bit too kind of like experienced for the work or the job we're offering. And so on one occasion, I was lucky enough to get an interview. And so I was getting my hair done by my friend, who's a hairdresser, self-employed hairdresser. And I said to her, you're so lucky to be self-employed, you know, being able to do what you do, and like choose your own hours and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And she said, be your own boss. And she said, yeah, she said, I enjoy it. She said, but it doesn't stop at 5 o'clock. She said, because then I've got the business admin to do and the bookkeeping and all the things I hate doing. She said, so I end up doing that at evening and weekends. And then she said, hang on a minute, you could do that for me. And so that got me kind of like thinking, I could do that for her. So I started to actually look into it, and I realized that to do things like bookkeeping, I'd need an AMLR license from HMRC, and that cost money. And so I thought, well, it's not going to pay me to just work for her. So I looked into ways of actually becoming a virtual assistant. And then in May 2003, Virtuoso PA came to be. So what do? I support sole traders and small business owners by offering full business support virtually. I currently have a number of retained clients and also offer ad hoc one-off services. So if anyone contacts me and I've got free space, then I can just do a one-off piece of work for them. 5 of my retained clients are sole traders, like tradesmen, so plumbers. I've got a chimney sweep I work for, a builder I work for, along those kind of lines. So it is real kind of like tradesmen, sole traders who really haven't got a clue about business admin. They're good at what they do, but when they started out their business, they didn't actually think about the admin side of running a business. And I look after all aspects of their business from my home office. So yeah. So I offer bookkeeping. As I said, I'm licensed with HMRC, and I also can submit tax returns as well because I'm classed as an accountancy service provider. So yeah, I deal with all their paperwork, everything. Well, as we all know, as business owners kind of thing, there's loads and loads of paperwork. So I like to kind of like get organized with that. As a lot of people, or some people here might have seen, that doesn't always carry up over to my personal life, because at this moment in time, I'm looking at my living room floor and I've got a pile of paperwork that dates back to about 2005, I think. So I'm currently sorting through all that, working out what I need to keep, what I don't need, and getting rid of it. And it's taken a long time, but I hate kind of like disorganization. So I'm not disorganized with my business, but I am with my personal life. And I also offer social media for my clients as well. I tend now to kind of like offer that in with a package, and not as an individual kind of like service. And I also offer diary and email management as well. So I look after my clients' emails, and I schedule their meetings for them. I'm their first port of call, basically, for their clients. So a lot of my clients, their clients actually think that I'm their PA. And also gives my clients a bit of kudos as well, that they've got a PA. And the only thing I can't do from my home office is make my clients a cup of tea. I can do everything, basically. So, yeah. And now we come on to the benefits of using a virtual assistant. I can help to organise your business, as I said. I kind of like am organised with my business and with my client's business, but with my personal kind of like stuff, not so much. And it's especially useful if you also like tend to leave jobs until the very last minute. A virtual assistant can actually help you kind of like organise your business. So let you know that certain things have got to be done at certain times, or if you're a chaotic worker, as I said, like organisation. There's an example. I worked for one of my clients. I started working for him because his wife actually met me in a queue at the tills in M&S, and I had a bag with my logo on it, virtual assistant, and she asked me what I did, and I told her, and she said, "Oh, my husband needs you." And so he was a builder, and he had his office in his garage. I'm saying an office, it was basically a desk piled high with boxes, carrier bags full of receipts, invoices and scraps of paper. It was a total mess. So I went in there and I did a bit of jasmine and I kind of like sorted everything out. How you do it, I don't know, because I'm petrified of spiders. So every time I kind of like opened a box or a bag, I was jumping. So, but I eventually got him organised, and now he's a client, and yeah, I keep on top of everything. So yeah. Hiring a virtual assistant also saves you time. So my clients, as I said, with my dad, if it wasn't for me, my dad would have been working at the evening and at weekends, getting all his business admin done. But because of my support, now my clients get evenings and weekends off because I deal with all their business. So they can enjoy what they do while I get rid of all, or I take care of all their non-profitable tasks. And believe it or not, hiring a virtual assistant is also money saving. I mean, rather than employ a part-time member of staff who you've actually obviously got to pay, and you've got to like pay all the regulatory benefits and taxes. There's no hidden costs with like using a virtual assistant. You basically pay for the hours of work that the virtual assistant does. And also hiring a virtual assistant, you can actually kind of like use it in your tax returns as an exemption, basically. So yeah. And my clients only pay for the time they use. And how do I do this work? I use cloud services and apps mostly Office 365, Office 365, OneNote, especially Excel, Xero, and other kind of like cloud-based bookkeeping. Dropbox. A lot of my clients use Dropbox. So I also use Hootsuite for social media because I can basically load all my clients' details into Hootsuite and actually kind of like schedule social media posts to go out from Hootsuite. So it's like a social media hub where I can keep a check on all my clients' social media accounts, reply to their kind of like, you know, their requests and all things like that. And I also use apps like Expensify or Office Lens, Microsoft Lens. It comes within the Office 365 package. So my clients actually take photographs of their receipts and then put them into Dropbox, and I deal with them from there. I keep all my clients' data safe and secure as well. So I use LastPass, which is a password manager. I actually don't know a lot of my clients' passwords because they share their passwords with me via LastPass. So I don't need to know their passwords. And I also keep everything safe and secure because I kind of like work on a VPN called Surfshark. So yeah, that's how I do the work.